Okay, log continuation, 6:19 p.m. It's still the 31st of January 2023. The Weaver, John C. Roseman, California. Diary of the Griever, and General Weaver be me. I was trying to explain on a previous video that I just put in private stock of the things I was talking about and about the shows of DS9 that were affecting me a great deal. A friend of mine just called me up to get the dinner rescheduled because they were running late. I'm not pushing it. Quite honestly, I was expecting it. But I'm not stressing over it. I'm not freaking out about it. I've got plenty of food to eat at this point over here. That's not the thing. I didn't want any more stress on them. And I sure as hell didn't want to put the stress and pressure on myself. And I needed to get a shower today just to get myself showered off because there was a lot of things clinging on to me besides the usual body garbage. And I wanted just to feel okay. This morning I talked to a therapist concerning about situations that were happening to me and coming across as if I'm doing one of the videos or audio casts with her. And I was discovering more and more about the therapist had some things in common with me. And she was trying to handle it all by herself. But she really wasn't that intimate about the damn thing. And I was trying to tell her that, look, I did these videos and audio recordings for myself and for others because nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to be intimate about the damn thing. Nobody digs deep into themselves. And I'll tell you something. Every time I keep watching some of those DS9 episodes, the more and more I kept watching them, the more and more they dug into me. The more and more emotional triggers to the point where I'm crying through halfway. Because I've seen some tender moments. I've seen some moments where things are happening that were happening to other people. PTSD for combat, and how this one particular kid was afraid of dying or just dealing with combat because it was all new and scared. And they were briefly showing and talking about a Federation soldier, a Starfleet soldier, who shot himself because he didn't want to deal with any of it. He wanted to get the hell out of there. Now, I may not have been in combat. There's no way I was in the military, so combat, no. But in dealing with the day-by-day stress of grieving, of mourning, of losing people I love left and right, and trying to keep that moleskin on for a long while until the damn thing got ripped off within the last 10 years. Dealing with an upcoming anniversary. That hurts. That hurts. What's even more is not trying to keep the pain out, just trying to express it and talk about it left and right. Not trying to show like I'm Superman and I can deal with all this damn shit. Are you kidding me? I've been breaking myself apart left and right. Even while watching, as I said before, the DS9 episodes. The latest one was concerning about this. There was a title of Nor the Battle to the Strong. It was a season 5, episode 4. This is the one where Dr. Bashir takes Jake on a medical conference run because Jake wants to write about Dr. Bashir, but then they are sidelined and have to help out a Federation hospital to survive and evacuate, and they're in the middle of a Klingon fight. Bring whatever medical supplies they can to help out the place. And Jake's learning firsthand what the front lines are all about. Despite the fact that in the series that he was already going through many station battles at this point over here, he wasn't all that afraid about it. He knew his dad was there over there. But now his dad wasn't there, and he had to face life all by himself. Certain elements of it was creeping in. When your safety net, your protection, your supportive network is not there, it hurts. You're frightened, you're scared, you're terrified beyond everything else. You're not quite sure how to deal with it, how to handle it. You're not big and burly and tough like that, and I'm going to deal with this shit. This is the stuff that deals in the subconscious and deals in the heart itself. I'm not talking about the pumping chamber. I'm talking about the soul itself. And how you're supposed to deal with loss and grieving. As much as love and as much as affection and much as what you've poured into the relationship, into this person, this person or this entity or this animal, and how much you got back from them, and then suddenly they're no longer there, and then you deal with the anniversaries left and right of their demise. Sometimes it's hard as hell to keep track of how many pets and how many anniversaries I've got. And to believe it or not, I've lost track. I've lost count. I've lost memories. I remember the names and I remember what they look like. But as for when they die or how they die, some of them actually do remember. The rest of them, I don't. Humans are a different story altogether. The ones who actually made the most impact in my life. My grandmother. Before that was my aunt. And then my grandmother. And then a few aunts and uncles. And their siblings. Their children. Which would be my nephews and nieces to deal with. Or cousins, actually. Dealing with an extended family and losing some of their members. Comes to the point of losing my mother and my brother. I mean, everything took the toll. It took a long while. And the thing of it starts off with me dying and coming back to life 3 times. I wanted to stay upstairs, but no. God had other plans. Send you back down here again. Sounds like it's a no-brainer. But it does add trauma in a way to the mortal body and the mortal mind. Not to mention screwing around with the damn soul that I am unable to be sure of when I was growing up about life or death. Afraid of both. Afraid to live and afraid to die. I've been through I've been through accidents that damn near killed me. I came back. It didn't give me a sense of immortality or like I'm Superman. No, I'm just more and more scared to live. But I had to keep fighting for survival left and right. And I had to stay away from things that could have taken my life out. You get into a car accident when you're a passenger as a kid, but that gets reversed when you're driving and you damn near get into a near miss. Actually, get into a near miss. Or near hit, however you look at it. And then you swear off driving for a hell of a long while until you're forced back into the damn shit. But there's a lot of traumas I've gone through. And I said before, last 10 years, I have lost a mother, a surrogate mother, a favorite pet, my big brother, all in that order. How the hell was I supposed to be able to deal with it in the last 10 years? What moleskin? Because after that point, it was grief, mourning left and right. Besides trying to fight my way through college just to get an AA degree in something, you know. And that's not easy. Sometimes I had to take time off just to mourn and grieve and go through the process and try to get help. And that's taken away too much time. And I had to talk to the therapist about half this shit in the first place because I know we had about an hour. It'd take a hell of a lot longer than an hour just to talk to her about it. That's why I suggested for her about the YouTube thing. Like a hint, you want to take a look and see what the hell's going on with me? Watch. Take a look at the videos. They'll tell you what's going on. Even the recent videos I mentioned about the anniversaries. It's hard as hell for me to deal with an anniversary of the start of a process tomorrow that I've got to be waking up early in the morning and realizing Mama is still not here. This is not the apartments that she died in. But the memories are still there haunting me. Today was the day that I had gotten the information about my own aunt's death, Aunt May, back in '79. And how the hell I was supposed to be able to deal with that all day long. And then a weekend trip a flight up and then a flight back. One day stay over to deal with a funeral, deal with a memorial service, and I feel like I'm supposed to hold it in for everybody else, and I was losing it. My grandmother and I are in the front of the plane. I think it's 727 PSA. Or was it an L1011? I wasn't quite sure. It's a triple engine. And I'm in the front of the plane. I'm right next to the window. And we're flying from Oakland Airport back to Burbank. And I'm just, Grandma keeps asking, "Are you all right?" Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going through tears, but yeah, I'm fine. Because I just missed Aunt May. I just lost her. And I hurt like hell. How the adults could be so stoic about it. How they kept the emotional control going on. How they kept the moleskin on their soul. I had to learn that the hard way. Every time I kept losing people left and right, I had to learn how to be strong about these kind of things. Well, I'll tell you something. There's only so much you can be strong at before something actually tears your ass apart. And that's what happened. Because I don't think I was able actually to live life. Even dealing with my brother and trying to use him as support. I mean, he was shaky enough as it is. And he was trying to lean on me as well, more and more. Because his support on Ma was gone. We were struggling to keep each other alive. We were struggling to keep each other going. We were struggling, period. This wasn't the easiest damn thing to deal with. Well, you can probably see if you happen to lean closer. I have a few of these shirts. One doesn't have writing on it. But a couple of them are a lot more decent than this. Actually, one's been worn off like crazy. But this was going to be a reminder to myself. I was going to be going over to my friend's house, but plans changed. I'm not taking this off just yet. Not until later on tonight. I'll try to keep it in good condition after that. It's hard as hell because I am reminded, and I wish I could send this information over to the shrink, just to show her what the hell I'm going through. Nope. Jacob called, but he also texted me earlier on. I said do it tomorrow. Because I am not in the mood for it, unfortunately. I mean, I wish I was. I wish I could be in the mood for this. But I'm not. It's a picture of this I just took. You know, in the episode I was watching, they were talking about the thin line between courage and coward. It's a very thin line. And sometimes you have to act when you think you're a coward and you're trying to save your life, and maybe it is courageous. As demonstrated by the main characters, just firing a phaser at rocks and then burying Klingons alive and then sealing off the entrance, and then he doesn't realize he saved everybody else, but he was just trying to protect himself, and he wanted to warn off the Klingons, and he was scared shitless. You know, That's all right. It takes a hell of a lot of courage to look inside yourself, they say. I've been doing that for a hell of a long while, and I don't know if I got the courage left, but I'm still doing it every single day. I have to be reminded that they're not coming back, and I have to live on as I am, as what's going on right now, because this hasn't been the easiest damn thing. I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru. I'm just talking about my own damn life experiences, what I've been going through. There is no profit in this damn thing. There is nothing. It is just me talking about this because it's the only way I can try keeping my own damn sanity. Either by doing audio recordings left to right on a damn cell phone app or doing this. There is no manual, no classroom study, no textbook, no nothing. It's day by day, minute at a time sometimes. Either you're going to deal with it one way or you're going to deal with it in another way. There is no right or wrong way. Now, I know people try to ignore it or push it aside. But I also know sometimes it's like a poison half the time, and it eats at you on the inside without you realizing it until you're looking at life. And you're just hurting too that bad, you just want to end it. And you just keep praying to God to end it. Because you don't want to live anymore. But you're not saying it to anybody else because you're scared, embarrassed, and to say something that intimate to God. But aloud is one thing. God's another. And God, as I understand, looks at inside ourselves all the time and knows what's going on with us. But he still likes the communication level anyway. But even if that's true and that's so, I still get stressed out. I still get frustrated. There had been one particular point in a online group that I was trying to not be fitting in, but I'm still fitting in. You know, they want their family members back. Who would want that? They want, you plead to God, bring back my family members. And several of them are going, amen. And I'm like, no. No. Honestly, I know part of me would have said yes. Part of me would have wanted to say yes. I want them back. The thing of it is, I know how Ma died. Besides dying of respiratory failure, she also died of a broken heart. She had lost so many loved ones. She didn't lose my brother and me. She knew we would be fine, but everybody else was gone, and she was so damn tired of it. She wanted to go home and be with her family, and she was. She left. Took her a long while, but she left. Things happen, you know. David, on the other hand, I think he didn't want to deal with what was going on in his own life. Everything else going hell in a handbasket, and I don't know, he probably regretted the crap of leaving me alone and dealing with everything else. Oh, but Johnny's strong. He'll deal with that shit. How many times have I kept yelling at a piece of paper with their images on it? And having arguments with them. I'm having arguments with the dead. I'm having arguments with memories, with images. They're not here to argue back with me. That's what I wanted, was an argument back. I kept thinking to myself I wasn't worthy of anything. And I should just, no. Final path on that one. But then understanding how I was raised by Mama and David and what they would have said. They probably would understand, but probably kick my ass in heaven. Or probably let me kick my own ass up in heaven. Because of the decisions I made. A lot of regrets. A lot of regrets. I think the hardest thing for me to do is probably to make that decision to go on. The easiest thing to do is just live and not do the final option, but just keep living. No matter how much pain and grief and mourning I'm going through these days, no matter how many times I get triggered left and right, maybe God's still keeping the strength in me left and right. I don't know. Maybe He is. I still consider myself a full idiot. And maybe God thinks otherwise. So does my family and everybody else. I'm not wonderful. I'm trying to live and survive. And that's not the easiest damn thing in the world to do. Especially with the kind of crap I have to deal with left and right. And how many times have therapists have actually, really dug into themselves and really say, look, I see where you're coming from. I know it. I've been through it. I've walked through it. And maybe you do have strength to go through that you haven't seen yet. You know, when I ain't puffing my chest out on that damn shit in the first place, this isn't a puff chest. This is me pouring out my heart and soul and my guts on this damn shit. Crap. Come on, this hasn't been the most craziest damn things for me to do. Is videos almost every single day just to get the shit off, and how many gigs I'm wasting, I'm eating up. How many fucking drives I'm going through. You know, if they said there was going to be a way to talk to the dead, I'm like, no. I think my brother and I would probably say no. John's been making decisions on his own for a long while. He knows what he's doing. If I would send a message back to him and said, you got to be fucking kidding me, brother dear. God be directing the damn shit. I'm just following the orders. But on some occasions, you know, if I am going to be making a decision, I'll make the damn decision and hope and pray I haven't screwed it up. I just didn't want to put any more pressure on anybody else, let alone me. It's easy enough to put myself into a damn headlock. Put myself in a fucking small ass cage and just stay there for God knows how long and just marinate in a damn thing, mutating into something else. And watching other things and situations happening left and right that are triggering me just turn me into a miserable case at this point over here. You know, I'll be ready for going downstairs just to hang about because I wouldn't even know how to be happy in heaven. I know how to be absolutely freaking miserable. But here's the thing: I don't want to shove it on. Excuse me. I don't want to. I don't want it. I don't want to give it to people. People will probably think, and you know, sometimes I really don't give a flying fuck, but I'm going to say it anyway. They'll probably think that I'm looking for absolute misery, actually absolute sympathy, and you need to do this and that for me because. No, I'm doing these things because I need to get it off of my fucking chest. I need to express the experience, strength, and hope, if there is going to be any hope. But just experience anyway to let people know what the hell's going on, how they can deal with this shit. Because if they can't deal with this shit, then we've got an issue, don't we? I'm not trying to come across as an intellectual at this point. I'm trying to come across as a person trying to go through this damn shit and still trying to figure it out. That's what I'm trying to explain. Nobody talks about it in intimate terms anymore. On how it tears their ass apart, or how they wake up in the middle of the night and have a dream that'll make them cry like crazy, or maybe they'll read in the middle of the night of someone else that's already gone through nearly the same shit, and they start talking to them online for a little bit. Just to say, look, I can't sleep much either. I know what you're going through. I heard it. I read it. Let me show you what I'm going through. Let me tell you what I'm going through. Let me give a different perspective on it. Not what you should do, but what I'm doing at this point, and only as a suggestion. Maybe a course of action you haven't decided yet, or maybe you do need to. But it also helps me with my own damn course of option, and then actually either helps me out or puts me into another trigger mode, which I'm tearing my ass apart left and right. Shit happens. If I am not triggered as much and I'm on to other topics, I probably am functioning very well. But right now, as it is, I ain't. I'm not doing so well right now. I am kicking my own frickin' ass, so to speak. And I'm not trying to say it's someone else's fault. It's someone else's fault. It's their fault, not mine. Why is it my fault? Because as I know about grieving and mourning and how I'm going through this damn shit, it's no one's fault. I poured out love and a hell of a lot of things over the years to a lot of people I cared about, and I got the reciprocation from it. But what drives me crazy is when they're gone. And I don't have that love and support I wanted to shower them with and hope to get a reciprocation back, knowing that they're not there anymore. Even a place for pets. As much love you can give an animal, a shower with love, and I'll probably feel it. As much as I'm also told even the spirits would feel it. You think good thoughts. Well, you thinking thoughts about them in the first place. And you miss them like crazy and you still want to shower them with love. And sometimes I'll be surprised if I actually get an animal or two crossing my path in my dreams. I mean, that's why I keep seeing my family all the time, but it's not there. I still have to deal with everything else on my own. And that's where the courage comes in. Not cowardice, but the courage line, because it takes a hell of a lot of courage just to talk about the shit, but it also takes a lot of courage just to wake up in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, and you're just trying to get alive and awake that moment. And if you're not triggered, you're feeling okay, you're functioning, and you're living and you're surviving. That's got to count for something, right? Well, for me, it's got to count as well. So for right now, even as I speak, this is what's going on with me for tonight. I'm trying to talk about this one more time. I'll talk about it again another time. And I'll keep talking about it. People may not understand it, may not like it, may move on. That's on them. Me, I'm just getting my story out there. My experience, my strength, my hope. I'm trying to get it out there. Because one of these here days, I may need to listen to the damn shit and understand what I'm going through. Torn apart on the inside, left and right, can't find an escape route except just to keep the hatches battered and keep sailing through the damn storm. And hope to God that the hull doesn't leak and sink your ass. And then after the storm, you have to do damage control on it. How much did you suffer on it? And is it still seaworthy? And then you look at your surroundings and find out where the hell you're at. And deal with what you gotta deal with. Maybe you get beached. Maybe there's no holes in the hull. And you're looking around and saying, what the hell is going on? And maybe, just maybe, you'll get a chance to get some damage control going. A bit of a respite from the damn storm you just got through. It's a hell of a thought, isn't it? I think so. Okay, guys. It'll probably probably talk to you in the morning.